Yo guys, what's up? It is Ripe again, back with more juicy revenge stories. In case you did not know, I am now on Patreon, where I am offering exclusive Reddit videos, and in case you want to support me, you can do so starting at $1 per month. We are already almost 50 members and the community over there is getting bigger and bigger. But don't worry, of course this does not affect the free daily YouTube uploads. And without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is from r/PattyRevenge and is titled I Was the Disabled Parking Grinch. Hey y'all, this was years ago at Christmas time at Target. I had just given birth to my daughter and ran to the store to get diapers and a moment of peace. I parked in BF Egypt, walked past a zillion cars and saw a woman slowly driving past all the full disabled spots. She is almost in tears, so I walk up and ask if she's okay. She explodes in tears, saying she is in a wheelchair and needs a disabled spot. But they are all taken by folks who don't have disabled placards. I see a spot about to open up and hold it for her. She parks, thanks me, and I go into the store to tell them about the illegal disabled parking. The Target lady says, yep, happens all the time. She makes an announcement to the store asking folks to move their cars. I ask if I can use her phone. I call the police. Our city is large, but I swear the cops are bored, so if you make a call, they send everyone. I say, hi, it's OP calling from Target. We have 18 disabled spaces and only one has a legal placard. Can you rustle up some officers and fix this? Literally 8 minutes later, about 20 cops and at least 20 tow trucks were at Target, and it was like a ballet. I've never seen tow trucks hook up and drive away so quickly and in complete synchronicity. Within about 20 minutes all the cars were gone and there were cops standing in front of the disabled spots. After getting the stuff I needed and some Christmas candy, because candy, I was walking back to my car. I saw what the cops were doing. When someone came with their baskets full of bags, searching for their car, an officer would call out, who has the 92 yellow Sentra? The illegal parkers would be directed to an officer, given a $345 parking ticket and the address of the impound place. And each cop said, Merry Christmas to them. Ouch, now I know it was a dick move to do this at the holidays, but at the time I weighed the rudeness of the folks illegally parking in necessary disabled spots because folks think I'm just popping in for a minute. Or some other lame and ableist thought, against the true need that the disabled driver has. Just an extra tidbit, both my kids are now adults and both are disabled. Prior to this incident, I had never thought much of being disabled, and now I am a full-time advocate for the disabled. And guys, I gotta say, I'm not sure if I can agree with OP here, because the only dick move I can see is not on his behalf, but instead on the behalf of the people who thought that it was necessary to park in the disabled spot just because they were too lazy. Obviously, they could just park a couple of blocks away or something and then walk to the store. This is a privilege that a lot of disabled people don't have, so I don't think that you should ever park in the disabled parking spot if you're not disabled yourself. All in all, I'm pretty happy though that OP apparently taught 18 people a lesson in parking. And guys, I'm curious, has your car ever been towed? And if so, how much did you have to pay? Please let us know in the comments. And because Petty Revenge is so satisfyingly petty, we will read another one which is titled Mess with the Hair and You Get What's Fair. So, ladies and gentlemen, I started my petty journey at the mere age of 2 when my very natural curly hair started to grow and flourish. Yes, I was blessed with the curls of an angel and have had many compliments, such as being compared to the female version of Brian May. I love that comparison, by the way. However, having such hair comes with its disadvantages. Many members of the public think it's okay to grope, pull and finger my hair just because of its natural exterior. I cannot tell you the amount of time I've had balding men, young child and middle-aged women fist my hair, bloody ruffle it and effing pull it. At least buy me dinner first, Susan. Well, no more. I decided that if someone were to touch me, they were getting touched right back. Every time some unfortunate soul waltzed their way over to the magnificent locks, a sickening smile crept onto my face. I have caressed many arms, I have ruffled many hairs, I've even gone as far as bopping someone on the head when they pulled my curl to watch it spring back up. I truly give no Fs anymore, and it is glorious. The looks on their faces is always hilarious, as they don't expect to be touched back even after invading my personal space. As of right now, my reign is on hold, but surely enough I will be back on the streets. PSA, do not touch people without permission, it is rude and uncomfortable as shit. And guys, someone in the comments said, I actually know of women who do this when they are pregnant. If someone touches their belly, they would immediately touch the other person's belly, and people were super offended, which made it even better. And actually guys, a friend of mine did this to a socially oblivious middle-aged coworker. She basically put her hand on her stomach, although she's not pregnant. However, she did have a big meal, so she knew exactly what she was doing, and my friend basically put her hand on her stomach, smiled and said pleasantly, "What are we doing?" And apparently, you could see in that moment that her brain glitched, it turned off and turned on again, and then she recalled her hand off her stomach and hustled away without saying anything. Then again guys, I have to admit something like this never happened to me, although as you can see I have pretty magnificent hair, but maybe this is more of a women's thing. Basically when you have longer hair, people feel more inclined to just pull it or whatever. But as you can see, even though I'm not a woman, I can do pretty cool stuff with my hair. Either way, please let us know in the comments if someone has ever touched you in such a way as displayed in the story. And the next one is from r/regular revenge and is titled Dumb Landlord Refuses to Fix a Leak, It Destroys Other Suits. I would not say our landlord is malicious, just dumb and lazy. I live in a condo tower where each unit is privately owned and I rent from the owner of one suite. Recently, my bathtub faucet developed a small leak. I emailed my landlord about it and he ignored it. A couple of days later, it had gotten bigger, so I emailed again. No reply, third time, now it is a constantly running stream of hot water. I texted and he said, he's not going to fix it. Alrighty Buster, have it your way. So I let it fester and it keeps getting worse and worse. 2 weeks in, I get an urgent call from the condo board that they need emergency access to my suite because a leak from my suite is coming into the floor below and damaging several areas. Of course I say, yes! And they dispatch a plumber for the leak and numerous contractors to repair the rooms below that have been damaged. Eventually, my landlord gets the bill, $8,000 from the condo board for the repairs, and finally emails me in a tantrum asking what this bill is for. So I reply forwarding him the original emails and text saying he was not going to fix it. I never heard back, half malicious compliance, half regular revenge. And guys, I gotta say, the landlord in this story seems pretty dumb, and I suppose he thought the problem would fix itself or something. However, now he's in big trouble, as the OP said he has to pay around $8,000 to fix the issue. Then again guys, how could the OP have changed the landlord's opinion? That landlord seems to be pretty stingy, so I guess it would have been pretty hard to change his opinion. The only thing OP could have done is to maybe threaten to not pay rent anymore or something, but then I guess he could get into even bigger trouble. To be honest, where I live, if you call the plumber, it's not really expensive, so I don't really understand why the landlord did what he did. And I'm curious, when was the last time that you had to call the plumber? How much money did you have to pay? Please let us know in the comments. Furthermore, if you have watched until here, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you want to support me. And guys, the last one is as usual from Pro Revenge and is an extraordinarily juicy story about a douchebag boss. It is titled Boss Mistreats New Guys, so new guys get boss demoted and then fired. So, back in my 20s, I worked for a large national sewer and drain company called Roto-Rooter, a great job and a great place to work where I was lucky enough to be trained by some of the most skilled technicians in the industry. There was, however, one supervisor, let's call him Billy. Now Billy was your typical kiss-up. who spent most of his time trying to please anyone who he thought held any influence, the senior techs, or power. AKA the branch and regional manager, and loved to lord his power. He made the shift schedules and scheduled time off over anyone who he thought he could push around. A typical interaction with one of the big earners, this is a commission job, would be something like, "Hey, you need a day off? Sure, just let me know when and I will be happy to help you." While if he was dealing with a new hire or a low learner, you were lucky if he would pick up the phone or take a second to hear you out. So, one night around my 3rd month on the job, I was sent to a mortuary to do some work, and while it was gross, hazard jobs like that paid really well. Maybe $200 in your pocket for an hour's work. When it was done, I called and told him that I was taking the rest of the night off due to some chemicals in their sewer, making me feel a little woozy, and I did not think it would be safe for me to operate heavy machinery, so he flipped out and told me that if I did not get back on the road, I would have a disciplinary hearing the next day, to which I said, "Sure, cannot wait to see you there." As soon as I walked in, I requested someone from HR to be present, as well as our assigned safety officer. The safety officer position in the company is very important, as the company self-insures and any safety violation can get you fired on the spot. I let Billy go first and he says, "You cannot leave whenever you want from your shift. You're getting a warning and next time I'm going to fire you." I calmly reach into my bag and pull out our employee handbook and begin to read. While I don't remember the exact phrasing, it goes something like this. If you feel at any time that the situation or job you are in/on is dangerous or may lead to a dangerous situation, you are to stop immediately. There was another section about being inebriated, exposed to methane gas from the sewer, being lightheaded, etc., and how you should go home and not operate any equipment under those conditions. It even went so far as to say that transportation would be paid for by the company if you did not feel safe driving. They were very big on safety, since any insurance claims would be paid by them directly. I asked the safety manager if I did anything wrong and he supported me 100%. Then I asked HR what they thought and they said, if it is a safety issue, you go home and don't worry about your shift. At this point, the regional manager asked me to leave the office and I hear him rip into Billy like a fat kid into cake. That should have been enough for me, but I am petty, I never forgive, and I am very patient. As time goes on, I become one of the top earners in my city, get Rookie of the Year my first year and Salesman of the Year my second. And Billy gets a reputation of being lazy and irresponsible. My second year at the company, Billy is put on probation, and this is where I go into pro-revenge mode. I gather up all the new guys and some of my buddies from my shift and I organize them so at least once or twice a week someone goes in there to complain about Billy. We never lied, we just knew what buttons to push to get him to self-destruct. New guys would ask for a day off or someone would take a sick day during a busy shift, etc. Finally, the branch manager snaps and calls Billy into his office. He demotes him to salesman and puts him on my shift. At a company like this, the shifts become very close. We all talk in our trucks through our radios while waiting for jobs. And we all help each other when needed. During Billy's first few weeks on the road, our supervisor makes sure he gets all the fun jobs. Flooded basements, tight spaces, and generally anything that will get him absolutely covered in poop. And of course, as all this was happening, I had every single person I was friends with at the company call him and ask him for scheduling changes, so he had to explain to about 30 people how he was demoted and no longer a manager. Eventually, Billy broke. He started crying to the dispatcher about how he could not take it anymore and quit. The next day, me and 2 other guys threw a Billy is gone party with cake and pizza at a neighborhood bar, put up signs in the office and made a general announcement in the morning when we went in to hand in paperwork when we knew Billy would be there to give in his 2 weeks notice. He actually came up to us to thank us and I got the pleasure of informing him that he's not invited. It's not a going away party, it is a you are gone party. It would not make sense for you to be at a party where we are celebrating you not being around anymore. In the end, only about 20 of the 50 employees at the branch showed up, but it was still a great party. Edit: so people wanted to know more about what Billy did to be despised. I did not want to give anyone else's stories without permission, so I made a few calls and here it goes. So I said me and 2 other guys through the party. Guy 1 had this 12-year-old who died of cancer about a year before Billy left, and Billy tried to have him fired twice for excessive absences. Guy 2 landed a $64,000 contract with a large well-known hotel chain, and Billy had the contract assigned to another tech, saying he was not experienced enough for it against his supervisor's advice. Billy had a new guy written up for having a messy van. Most of our vans were disasters, so it was just being an a-hole. He would grant some people's vacation requests with the caveat that he may need them if it gets too busy, so they could not travel. If you were a low earner, he would essentially cancel your vacation and put you on call against company policies. There are a million more, but I feel like the more I say, the easier it is to find out personal info. And guys, I have to admit, this last revenge story was a pretty interesting one when you looked at the comments. Because at first, the people in the comments said, why the hell did you get revenge on this guy? He was just not being nice to you and you basically more or less ruined his life. But then I'm pretty happy that OP included the edits just to show how terrible Billy really was. And now let us know in the comments, do you think what Billy got was deserved or did he get too much revenge? And with this guys, we unfortunately have to end the episode for today. If you still enjoyed the revenge content, please let me know in the comments. And other than that, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and now we will take a look at all the awesome Patreon supporters. We are almost 50 people on Patreon, which is absolutely amazing, and I would have never thought that we would get so many supporters in less than a week. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much to everyone who keeps supporting me. But either way, as I said, Ripe needs to sign off now. I need to edit my videos. I hope you have an amazing day.